Those were some basic user interface strategies, okay? Tips, tricks, okay? Now, you guys can take some of those, implement them across pages. But what's going to happen is you need to understand what different pages on your website or whatever, what is page-specific strategy? Because there are strategies that are specific to a page, okay? And some of this has been mentioned. I think some of you even use these words through today or even earlier. And what I want to do is actually show you some basics of those page strategies so you keep those in mind, okay? Where we all start, right? Home page. This is the ultimate first impression. You agree? Most people come to your home page first, correct? So this is your first impression. And in this first impression, there is a lot of stuff that you need to make sure that you cover, okay? Talks about, on the top left, value proposition. It is probably one of the most important things to cover on your home page. What is the value proposition of your site? And not only homepage, it can apply to your app as well, right? What is the value proposition? Why am I there? Okay? Then, if you have any special offers, I give you an example of Make My Trip. They put their special offers on top because they want to make sure that if you're coming to them, that you know that there's something special about it, and as such, you'll probably transact more. Okay? Homepage has got to carry special offers. So if you go across almost any large website today, you'll find these two things be on top: your value proposition and any special offer. In some cases, like our e-commerce players, their value proposition is that it's a discount, right? And as such, they'll have even more concentration on those. Okay? Your new arrivals, you probably want to give people a taste of what type of content you have. You know, some of the products you see on home pages? You know, a lot of times on homepage, you'll see a few products, okay? Maybe you'll see a blog post. Maybe you'll see a user review. Do you know why they're doing that? Because they want to give you just a sample or an example of the content that they carry. Okay? Because remember, content is important, but I can't put everything on the home page. But I still want to give you a taste of it so that if you're a customer that I'm looking for, you'll engage with me. Then, text-based links, your shopping cart link. Again, these are some basic stuff that you have on the home page. Your social media links, any personalization options. Now, another big point. What you would do on home page is put your trust mark. What is a trust mark? And again, in India, this concept is less. Abroad, it's more. These are marks that you get from third parties that verify information about you. And ultimately, this is what convinces an end customer that you're a trustworthy site, that you won't steal their information, you won't steal their credit card information, you won't run away, etc., etc., etc. Okay? It has to be on the home page because this is where people will first search for that trust mark. Say, how do I know? So take out your top 10 e-commerce players today. Let's say you go to a site, and I don't know if you guys have ever gone to this site called Zovi.com. Okay? Now, the ones that have not ever gone to Zovi, how will you buy from Zovi? How do you know who they are? One of the biggest ways is those trust marks, right? Is it trusted site? Okay. The other thing, your login box, your contact information, payment systems icon. Why would you want to put which payments do you accept on the home page? Somebody?
In the footer, right?
Yeah. Why would you want to put it there?
Because like if Visa is my like if I'm accepting Visa cards, so if I put the Visa logo, the customer may be like satisfied. Like they are using some standard payment protocol which they are used to.
Great. I think that's a great answer because that's what it's doing. It's building that trust in you because you're using something that they're very used to seeing, the Visa logo, the MasterCard logo, the Amex logo, or whatever it is. So yes, they believe that you're using something that's credible. Absolutely.
Two things. Just going back to your old thing, that trusted certificates. Does it like an FDA? We are FDA certified. Would be a part which could come on the
If
the
you're
thing?
if you're in food and drug, yes.
Right. Second thing about why are you showing the options? What kind of payment you accept is again, like for example, you only accept Visa but not Master, and I'm a customer who only has a Master in my pocket. After going through your site, liking the product, and then at the end when I'm going there, I'm finding it's not accepting a Master, and it's like something a drawback to me. So once I know what kind of payment option you already have, and if that's same thing I can relate to, that will be a good experience for me also.
Great. I think both correct points. One is the able to build trust. The other is obviously, as a customer, I want to know if I can even buy from you, right? Otherwise, I may not be able to.
Secure protocol is a trust mark?
No. So most customers, by the way, do not understand that. Do you know that? Right? In India, how many customer that walks out there knows what SSL means? They don't know. So yes, it is useful for an economy where the customer is that knowledgeable, but where they're not, it doesn't serve any purpose. And I'm telling you, there are sites out here that have implemented some secure protocol of some nobody, right? Some company they don't even know about, right? So it doesn't matter. Here, it's not applicable. But yes, other places definitely makes a difference.
So one of the research I found in Harvard University research that not to keep social media links into homepage, as what they say ki, it diverts the attention of the customer or the whoever visits your site. How do you agree with this?
So and again, I don't want to contest Harvard, right? But sorry.
Maybe it will be an old study.
Nah, I don't know if it's an old study of the guy making it is old. But I mean, seriously, if I'm on the website, why would I get distracted by social media link? Do I see a Facebook link and say, yeah, I got to click it? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Yes, if you everywhere integrate social media and say, oh, this person liked it and this, yeah, maybe I get carried away. But to have the link, by the way, today, I keep on saying it, all purchases across all continents are socially influenced. Why would I not want to have it? I actually want to have it on the homepage. And in our case, we're even trying to force people to say that not only do you have a link, but let's actually pre-populate the link with something about the site. So if somebody wants to share it with a friend right now, they like something. Let's say you went to Lush, right? And you love the site. You say, beautiful. I want to share it now. Why should not I have a link to do it? Ultimately, I disagree. I don't think there is distraction just by having a link.
Keep it down in the footer, not in the top.
That's definitely an old thinking. That's 100% an old thinking. That has changed for years. You don't find much sites out there anymore with the social media links on the. Everybody actually wants it in prime top right where the banners are, or on the top left where the banners are, because that's where the most anyway visibility is. I want to be able to have it. So I think things have changed considerably from that point, maybe.
Just to add on to your point, nowadays they give you a flexibility to log in through those social websites so
Exactly.
that they can actually get a marketing via those websites.
Correct. Absolutely true. And she's absolutely right. So they even are allowing you to log in through Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, right? So it's a big thing, okay? Because again, today's customer is on social somewhere. And by the way, in India, anyway, I think I talked about it. We're one of the most socially connected country, right? No better word for it, but we're a more socially connected country, right? We got one of the biggest Facebook user base. We got one of the biggest LinkedIn user base. We got the biggest Twitter user base. We got the biggest YouTube user base. So believe me, we want to be social.
Like adding on we have to keep trust marks on our website. So the trust marks, it is Startup India initiative or it is Make in India initiative. Like, how do we know that they are really the Make in India initiative? Because everyone is now doing I went to trade fair, like there were 2-3 startups, like they were like Make in India initiative, and it was nothing India, like it was like nothing made in India. It was they importing from China and they're telling Make in India. So
They're saying they will make in India. You didn't see the will?
yeah, so the packaging and all make in India initiative, and these things work because like people say okay, because of Modi campaign and all, this thing is working. Like, so is it advisable to, like, if I'm having a website, so I'll tell that it's like startup India initiative, like it's for doctors and all. So is it advisable to use that? We support Make in India. They use this. We support Make in India.
Exactly. So
support
both of these initiatives you're talking about have no real formation to it, right? There's no way to get credible and say, ki, are you part of it or not? I can say I'm part of Startup India, or I'm supporting Startup India, or I'm supporting Make in India, just because those initiatives don't have a proper way to get some kind of certification or whatever. So that's how it is. You don't want to do it if you're not really, because if the customer finds out, you're actually going to have more negative than positive, right? But otherwise, if it helps the business and you are truly supporting the cause in some way, why not? It does give you some credibility. Again, out of all of this, what we have to understand is at the end of the day, the consumer is going to become more informed. Today, they might not be, but don't take them lightly. Okay? They will become more informed. And the day they do, your brand will get diluted, because if you're saying something you're not doing, they'll just won't deal with the brand at all, because they'll have 10 other options or 100 other options to go after. Okay? So you have to be very careful as a brand. What do you say?
You say the very sign, trusty, and all these things. If there is a website HTTPS that indicates SSL, do you think this is a sign of trust also?
He asked the same question. And my answer to that time also is that, again, the customer has to be informed. Most customers don't even know what that means.
Okay.
Right?
In the very sign, most of the customers may not be knowing also very sign.
But you see that mark there. You click on it. VeriSign then tells you all about why the mark is there. What have they verified about the company? Right? And there's levels of it. They say that, look, he's X level because we've only verified his place of business and his financials, etc. He's maybe this level because we've verified and we've actually done tests of shipping with them and they're credible and all that kind of stuff. So there's different levels also of these marks. And like in the US, you have BBB, which is Better Business Bureau, right? And they give you a rating. And today, they used to only give it to offline businesses. Today, it's all online businesses have a BBB rating. We can also, Trustmark in India will also come at some point where we will be able to get those ratings. Okay? But that builds kind of trust from the customer to you. Okay? Until we don't have, it's great to use the payment systems icon and all of that. Okay? Now, are we somewhat clear of what a home page, what are the elements we're looking for on a home page? Yes? So after the home page, the next page we want to talk about is a product detail page. Okay? And a product detail page looks somewhat like this, right? We've got our product information, etc. Now, these pages have two basic sections. Now, almost every web page has these, but it's important here. So what we'll do is we'll cover it here. There's something called above the fold, and then there's something called below the fold. And what the difference is, when you first open a web page, what you see is what is called above the fold. When you have to scroll, let's say this web page, when you open, the top is what you see first. And when you have to scroll down, it's called below the fold. Okay? Now, like I said, this is evident across the whole website. Right? But it's very important on the product detail pages. Okay? Because here, the whole UI changes when above the fold versus below the fold. Okay? Above the fold is where you have your product images. Right? This is where you're going to put basically your images, your videos, etc. Okay? This is where you're going to have your pricing. Okay? You're going to have your call to action or add to cart buttons. Because you want your users to see this right away on the product when they first open it. You don't need them to scroll down to add to cart. Okay? Then you'll have a short overview. You'll have product description. Okay? Again, both of these are placed higher up on the page. Now, you'll have your social media and sharing buttons. Forget homepage. even on your product page, this is above the fold. You want people to share it if possible. Okay? Then you'll have your shipping links. You'll have specific product-related promotions or discounts. Okay? And overall product rating. Now, you know what? There's more things you can have. There's less things for your particular product or service. But what this is a basic guideline. Okay? This is something that will have the customer very quickly decide if they're interested to buy that product or not. Because only if they are will they scroll down. So what we've done here is give them a summary, a detailed summary. I mean, it's a contradiction, but it is a detailed summary of what the product is.
So you said that only when they are sure that this is the product they want to buy, they will scroll down. But in sites like Amazon, for instance, the design specifications, all the pertinent details that, for instance, decide if I'll be buy an electronic product, that all is below the fold. So like I only make a decision after reading those design specifications if it fits my needs and desires. So
let's use an example then. Let's say you went to a product, right? And you discovered on the top, right, that, you know what, it doesn't support UHD. Would you even scroll down? If you were looking for UHD, you would not scroll down. So there are many other questions that have to be answered before you will come down. Unless you've gone to a product that you already knew about. See, electronics may be one category where you know that I want to buy this XYZ model. Then, yes, you will read up and you'll read down and whatever. But in most cases, it's about discovery. And discovery is a step-by-step process. Huh? First, we discover on some page the image, some name for the product, some price. Then we come to the product detail page. We find out even more. Let's say the summary detail. Then ultimately, if we think this is something that may interest us or we may want to buy it, we'll scroll down.
But to use an example, for instance, say I want to buy a new laptop. The pertinent details at the top, above the fold. None of the details are actually the questions I'd ask about the product. It's only below the fold where I would actually see what specifications it has to decide if it actually wanted. For instance, the RAM, the graphic card, the processor, everything is below the fold.
It's okay. So I don't know which product you saw, but usually the laptop description will say Acer notebook, 512 GB, hard drive, etc., etc., etc. They've given you all the information that will make you go to the bottom on top.
They never mentioned the graphic card model actually, because
Great.
that is the most pertinent part
Great.
for gamers, for instance.
Good question, because for you that's important.
Okay, so they only cater to the most common denominator at the top.
Absolutely. I can't cater to everybody, right? Remember, even in content, Summer said that if you start going very micro-segmentation, your quality drops. There's a reason. Because there's very few people that want it. So in your case, you wanted a graphics card information, right? I don't know if 40 others here want that. They don't even care. वो जाना video चलेगा मेरा, right?
So for
Yeah,
instance,
bonus hai.
so for instance, even the processor information, how many gigahertz it has, even that is lower.
No, I don't know. I may know, but I'm sure that most people don't understand that. So why would I have it up on top? I have it on bottom because of people that want to know. So that's what I'm saying. Once the decision has been made, in most cases, then they will scroll. There will be some exceptions, let's say 20% or 10%, that may want to see the detailed information as well. So yes, in your case, you are that you wanted to see the graphics card. I'm guaranteeing you that 40 of us here would not have even looked at the graphics card. I'm being honest. I don't look at it. And I understand everything about technology. I still don't look at it because मेरे को जरूरी नहीं है देखना अभी. आज मेरे को मालूम है कि सब की सब लैपटॉप मेरा at least videos और ये सब चलाएंगे. I don't need to do animation. I don't need to do video editing. So why do I need it? So that's the reason.
On the last point, the overall product rating, one of the ways in which you can get it is to customers who have already used it and review that product and said, okay, fine, on a 1 to 5 scale, this is how I rate it. What could be the other ways in which you can get this?
The other way to get rating is to get some expert to give it to you, right? So you can have product experts talk about the product, like movies, right? They get these guys to say this movie is 3-star, this movie is 3.5 star, this movie is a 4-star. It's the same way, right? Either a customer does it, or ultimately some recognized professional reviewer, expert, etc. has to do it. Yeah. And again, if celebrity does it, it's even much more than anything else. If a celebrity says, damn, good product, I'm sure you'll sell a few.
Yeah. And that's questionable because many times celebrities say, because many times celebrities endorse products they've never used and they don't know anything about it.
But people still buy it.
Something just occurred to me from the early discussion. Carrying on about you will buy what caters to you. There are several products which are specifically designed to cater to a specific niche. But unfortunately, the products that I've seen of those types, even they follow the same pattern that earlier other products do. They don't have the information that is actually relevant to their niche printed there. So like, would this be a limitation of the marketplace model itself, or could it be like something?
No, it is a limitation of the content writer.
Okay.
The content writer then doesn't understand the business. If I want to buy a gaming PC, believe me, if the content writer doesn't understand what the gaming PC customer is going to look for, and they're putting stuff like, I am sure a gaming PC buyer wants to know how many core the CPU has. Not only what the speeds are, he wants to know the core, because he knows that he's going to push through
Multi-threading.
20-something cores or whatever he wants to do.
Because
right?
of multi-threading, most games use it. So.
Exactly. So he wants to see all of that. If a content writer doesn't understand that, then they'll do what they normally do. And this is a problem, right? Something that, again, in content, when Samar was talking about it, he even mentioned that most of the content today is getting automated. So it's a repetition. It's the same structure. So in that case, these kinds of customizations don't happen. So it's an issue with the content writer, not with the marketplace. Marketplace doesn't say put this or put that.
Then this serve as a kind of value proposition for the site itself. Like we can not only get the content for common products, but even your niche products will be perfectly available, like a convenience type of thing.
Absolutely. So there is a very good example of this in the US called Newegg. Newegg only sells electronic items, and mostly in the category of computers and computer parts. Okay? Why are they very successful against an Amazon and others? Because they actually cater to this. They make sure that their content is for the people that are interested in these kinds of products, and it's not a very general content out there. So they've made a niche for themselves to exist for those kinds of people. And it's a large set of people, actually. There's several $1 billion in sales. So it's a large set of people. All right, getting back to this. So these are above your fold kind of elements. So let's say the customer has said, you know what, I like this, I want to know more. And this is where below the fold comes in. What is that more? Okay, it's things such as detailed product description with features and specifications. So this is where all the detail goes, right? What does it made of, country of origin, what kind of materials are in there, how should you take care of it, etc. That all goes into below the fold. Videos, professional and user generated. Now this is questionable. Very truthfully, we keep on putting this in below the fold just because of bandwidth. Because it takes bandwidth to download these videos, and you don't want them above the fold if the bandwidth is not there. Because last thing you want is to have content up there that doesn't show up. So usually, if the bandwidth is a restriction, you want to put the videos below the fold. It'll take some time to load them. Okay? Especially user-generated ones. If people want to give you reviews, other things, goes below the fold. Product recommendations, related products, all go below the fold because these are additional sales on top of this product. Okay? Any comparison you want to do, okay, goes below the fold. Detailed reviews. So you know how on top we had the summary? The detail would go on the below the fold. Because a lot of times if people see a certain type of rating, they want to know why the people gave them that rating. All right? You go to any site and you see that they have 5 stars and they have 1 1 star. You want to know why the 1 star came. So you would go below the fold to search for that, right? So that's where you would have detailed reviews and stuff. Any stock status updates that you want to put, links to warranty and return information, okay? And not lastly, but your contact information as well. Your contact anyway is being carried on most of the time your headers. So you can put this below the fold anyway, it doesn't matter because it'll be on the header, it'll be on the footer, one more place you'll have it here, okay? The whole concept is you're trying to put together in a way that makes sense to a customer as well as search engines, okay? So the above and below is not only for the customer, it's also for the search engines. What they're looking for, just like a customer, is pertinent information on top, and then all the supporting detailed information on the bottom of the page.
Videos are normally placed below the fold. Actually, even I'm aware of that. But certain sites, they come on a certain innovative way of making it work. Rather than making like wasting bandwidth, they pair the images and videos together and make sure that they're not autoplay unless the customer wants it.
Yeah.
So basically, the images come first, but if the customer selected autoplay, it'll automatically play the video first based on the customer's.
So you're right. The reason we don't cover all the different permutation combinations of doing this is because we're assuming that most people are not at that level of being able to implement that kind of technology, right? There's other ways also, right? I can also make sure that the video link only appears when the video is fully downloaded. There's a whole bunch of technology around it, but we cover mostly where you want to start off with. So again, this is where you would start off in above and below. Question? No? Good. After your home page, your product detail pages, the other page that's important, and obviously this page actually comes before your detail page. This is the page where you see your category and your product sorting. What does that mean? So you know how you go to a website and you find that you like a certain product, you go to that particular category, right? This is that page. And we'll actually just open an example and once we finish this and just make sure we understand what each one of these pages looks like. Okay? Here, this is what it's saying is this is the path from everything to the perfect thing. Because remember, when you first open this, you have thousands of choices. Let's say you go to mobile phones on Flipkart. You got hundreds of choices. Then finally, you start to sort, right? You start to categorize, and what happens is you end up with 40, 50, 100 phones or whatever, okay, that you want to. So there's some basic UI things in there. Set the default for the site to sort by the most popular or best sellers. So when you're doing sorting on these pages, don't do price. Don't do new. Actually set it to most popular or best sellers. Why? Because if they're selling, that means more people will buy it. By the way, if you ever go on Amazon and go to any product page, any category page, it is always sorted by bestseller. And even if you're not realizing it, the algorithms automatically show bestsellers first. So if a product is selling well, it will be on top all the time. So you need to apply the same things because if a product is selling, that means it will continue to sell. Okay. Customize category sorting to highlight high inventory items, clearance items, or new arrivals. It's a tip. What happens is how will you get rid of things that you have a lot of? Let's say it doesn't sell. Then how will you get rid of it? Because your algorithm will put it all the way in the bottom. How will you sell it then? Or how will you sell new arrivals which have no history? So what you have to do is you have to get your programmers, your developers, to seed these in between. Okay? So that's what it's saying. Customize the category sorting to highlight high inventory, clearance, and new arrivals. Tell people that we also have these. Okay? Use multi-level sorting rules to optimize conversions. So what you do is you mix your best sellers with your high inventory items. So क्या होता है? if they're looking at best sellers and the high inventory item is also next to it, there's a better chance that that item will sell because people are already looking at the best sellers. Allow customers to sort on some popular parameters. Again, this is something everywhere you can see highest, lowest price, best selling, newest. Use filters such as size, color, brand. Okay? These are normal features today. Okay? And when we talk about Shopify later, you'll see that these features are all built in. Okay? If you're customizing it and developing it, then you need to keep this in mind. Another point, display all products by default if you have 50 or less products. Most of you now go to a site and you scroll, you can keep on scrolling. It's like endless scrolling, right? Right? You know why they do that? Because you're more likely to keep on scrolling than to click next or 1, 2, 3, 4, the page numbers. Because it's easier to just keep on scrolling and automatically keeps on building new products right there. Okay? If you don't have that technology, then what you do is if it's less than 50 products, just display all of them on one page. Scroll it down. Okay? Because nobody wants to go to 2 or 3 pages. If they see 1, 2, 3, they're not going to go. Okay? Use endless scroll, which is what I was just talking about. Okay? Include a quick view option. You know, you go to some sites, even if you're there, you can just do a quick view. It just shows you right there what the product is. Correct? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to see some examples of the 3 types of pages just to want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Okay? Very quickly, this is the Amazon India homepage. Okay? They probably follow most of the things that we're talking about when we talked about the page strategy, right? They've got the search box, they've got your login, they've got the shopping cart link, they've got their discounts, everything on that homepage, right? And if we keep on scrolling on the bottom, they'll have all the contact information, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? So just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. That's the home page that they have. Right? And this is what we were just last talking about, which is your category page. Okay? So this is the page where I clicked on laptops, and this is where it brings you, right? So it shows you some laptops. On the left-hand side here, you keep on seeing all these options, right? These are your sorting and filter options. Correct? And if we look, keep on going, they keep on having all options, and then here is their sort, right? We talked about sort. It needs to have new, it needs to have price, it needs to have, they have it based on customer review, they have it based on newest arrivals, okay? Because they believe in customers so much that they actually have a sorting by customer review. So only the best products show up on top. Okay? Now, if you click on any of these laptops, what you see is this, which is your product detail page. Okay? Above the fold, you're looking at. When you open, this is above the fold. Okay? And most of the information we talked about, the name, the pictures, the price, et cetera, is all above the fold. If you go below the fold, this is where all the details are. Okay? A lot of details. Okay? Here you've got all kinds of technical details, your specifications, etc. Okay? And if you keep on going, this is where some of the customer questions and answers are, and this is where your reviews are. So on top, they had shown a review, a summary, and on the bottom is where all the detailed reviews are. So everything we talked about, they actually follow 80% of it. Probably more than 80% of it. Okay? So just kind of giving you a view of real life example of what we were talking about. Got it? Now, after these pages, right, you've got your home page, you've got your category page, and your product detail page, right? 3 of the most important pages. Your real most important page is your checkout page. Okay? This is where you need to get the customer's money before they change their mind. Right? I know people are laughing, but you know what? With conversion rates of 0.5%, 1%, right? You want to make sure that this process is so seamless and the user interfaces are perfect. Last thing you want is the customer to decide they're going to buy from you and ultimately don't. Okay? So here are some basic tips. Don't require the customers to register to check out. A major fault in most sites. They'll say, please register before you can check out. Give them an option to just check out as a guest. Right? Why do I need them to first give me all the information? You know what? If they purchase it, I'll ask at the end of it. Please also register with us and win a coupon or something, or get a coupon for next purchase. They'll be more than happy to give their information. If I do it now, it's a bad idea. They may not feel comfortable with you. Only collect customer information that is truly needed to process the order. Again, don't ask them for their date of birth, their anniversary date, okay? Their gender. What does a gender have to do with checking out? Not that checking out, okay? But this checkout, right? So don't ask them stuff that you don't need to ask them, right? Make it easy to edit the shopping cart. Some people have this thing, you add things to the shopping cart, you can never get out. Don't do that. They feel very confined. Give them an option to add, update, remove, save, whatever they want to do. Because it'll make them more comfortable, you'll become more trustworthy to them. Okay? Include trust marks if you have it. And then there's something called a privacy policy. This is something you should link back to your shopping cart. This tells the customer, what do you do with their information? How do you save it? Do you use it? Do you not use it? Do you sell it? Do you not sell it? As the consumers become more knowledgeable, they're going to want to see this. What do you do with their information? Now, tell the customer when to expect delivery. Because at this point, you need to tell them that you're going to get this package on this date or before this date. If you've ever checked out on any large player and they're not telling you this, you will never buy from them. You want to know what product kab aayega. I am so impatient, by the way. My type of customer is so impatient that at any step, I don't see that, I wonder if the product is going to come on time. I'm just that way. I want to know at every step. Even if it means he told me first, told me again, told me again, told me again. When I checked out and I got a final confirmation, I still want to know that the product is going to come on this date. Okay? A lot of people are like me, where they want to know. So you want to make sure you give them that information. Provide clear order processing confirmation and receipt. So what happens on some sites, and I'll tell you, this happened to me a couple of times still, only about a few months back. Customer puts the information in, they put their credit card, etc. They check out, right? Confirmation comes, meaning your order is complete. You know what? They get a simple line. Your order has been complete. Your order number is da 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 da. I don't think that's clear order processing confirmation or receipt. Even at that place, what I would need is some kind of a receipt, right? Say that, look, this is what you bought. Okay, I'll tell you where it happened, and without mentioning names of brands. Large travel site. I buy a ticket. At the end, tells me simply that your booking is confirmed. Booking number is such and such. You'll be receiving the itinerary in a few minutes on your email. Wait a minute. I don't know what I just bought. I mean, I remember what I bought, but I want another confirmation at the end. And every customer is like that. At the end, they need to have that confirmation. So make sure there's some very clear order processing instructions for them. What do they need to do next? Here's a receipt. You will be receiving your order in 2 or 3 days. You will also get an email from us saying that this is your receipt. Okay? These are clear instructions. Okay? Prominently display your customer service number all through the checkout process, because you don't know when they will have a question. And the last thing you want them to say is, "Arey yaar, mere ko kuch question tha, but number nahi dikh raha, and let me click somewhere and go somewhere." If they click and go somewhere, they're never coming back. That's how the customer is online, okay? Make sure the checkout process works seamlessly on all platforms. Oh, a big, big problem. People make checkout processes, they make them nice, and then you try them on certain browsers, it doesn't work. You try them on certain phones, it doesn't work. You know what? You're not a travel site. You're not an IRCTC where there's no other option. They can do all this. And by the way, they did all this. So, you would try IRCTC on a browser, on a MacBook, it would never work for years. For years, it didn't work. But you know what? I had no other option. I find another laptop or a computer to buy it on. Right? But you don't have that. You need to make sure it works across all platforms seamlessly. Nothing can change, nothing can move. It has to be exactly the same across all platforms. Okay? There was a big bank, and again, besides IRCTC, I don't want to name the bank, very big. For the longest time, right, in Internet Explorer, their banking would not work. I said, what? It would not work. I don't know who you're talking about. Right? But it just did not work. I was like, well, you're a bank. Do you not test this stuff? Right? You're controlling my money. So it's very important to build that trust. Right? Because if it doesn't work somewhere, your customer is going to think you don't know what you're doing. Okay? Got it? Here's an example of one of the top-rated checkout processes. Okay? And this is a company called US Auto Parts in the US. If you look at it, they follow almost everything religiously. It's a very clean UI. There's not much there. It's only talking about buying, right? On top, it shows you what product you're buying, gives you 3 options how you can check out. Okay? Now, these 3 options, by the way, for the ones that are in the US, you would know you have to have. So because Google and PayPal both required websites to put their buttons there. They said if you don't put the buttons, you can't use us. So that's why you see 3 options. Otherwise, you will only see 1 option. Okay? But you see 3 options there. Okay? They've very clearly stated what product you're buying. Okay? Full price, taxes, everything. On the right side, they're telling you the number, saying just ask us if you have any question. Call us. Okay? They're not giving you much anything else. Do you see another below that number? They've also put something called best brand, something, something, something. Why did they do that? Huh? No, it is trust. They're saying best brands, widest selection, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. At this point, it's even more important to make that trust. Because otherwise, I may change my mind. Remember what we said, get their money before they change their mind. Right? This is one of the ways you get their money. Okay? Now, once a customer clicks proceed to checkout, this is where they come. What's unique about this? Everything is concise. It's on one page. They're taking only the information they need. If you look at billing address and shipping address is not even showing there. What it's saying is it is same as billing address. If it is, don't worry about it. If it is not, then it would probably expand and ask you for the shipping address. Okay? Small thing, making the forms as small as possible. Do you see them asking birth dates and all? Anything else that they don't need? This is all the information that they need. They're asking for billing information, shipping information, how do they want it shipped, and how do they want to pay for it. That's about it. And that's all you need to ask the customer. Stop asking them 100 other things. Customer doesn't want to give it, and if they do, great, take it later. Okay? On the right-hand side, they continue to show what is the amount that I need to pay. Because in a lot of sites, when you come to this step, they stop showing you the amounts. And it's a problem because I get a little queasy that, wo amount kya tha? Maine galti to nahi kar di. It's human nature. It's not just me. It's human nature. Whenever you don't see something and it's not visible to you, you always wonder, did you do it right or wrong? They make sure that they show it to you. Okay? Now, what they've also done on the top right is give you the option to log in if you want. You don't have to. But if you want to, log in, because then the information would come by itself. But they're not forcing you at any of that points. Okay? On the bottom, do you see that that button is green colored? That's a very big trick of UI. Green says, go ahead. Correct? But if you look at some sites out there, they will make this button red, thinking attention milega. Arey bhai, attention to milega, but red all in our life, we kept on learning, it means stop. Danger. Why the hell would I make a button red? But you know what? People still do it. By the way, a funny little thing. You know, US, it said that you never buy a red car. Right? Why? Because you get the most speeding tickets in a red car. Because the police notices it the most. It's absolutely true. There are numbers that tell you this. Okay? That you do not buy a red car because you will get the most speeding tickets because it's the most notable color there is. And it means danger. So even if you're going, a little bit above speed and police sees a red, it's danger. Okay, let's stop him. Right? You bullfight, what color? It's red. So anyway, they have green color down there. The other thing I wanted to show you on this page, and even before this, look at the menus and everything. They've actually subdued everything. The main concentration of those color changes or the contrasting are the buttons that are saying proceed to checkout. Do you see that? That's a huge contrast to the rest of the page. Proceed to, because that's the step they want you to do. Okay? And here, same thing. Okay? Now on top, do you also see that they're setting your expectation? It says this is where we're taking billing, shipping address from you, and then it'll be a step to complete it. Okay? It's actually one of the award-winning checkout processes. So this is how you go about doing a checkout process. Okay?